guys, firstly thank you for clicking on this video, and if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, please go ahead, hit that subscription bell. I also would encourage you to share this video as well. Now, with the increase in financial crime, I would like to start this video by asking 5 questions, because you know we are all serious people. We are serious about the money. So it's important to know exactly what happens to your money, you know, in certain situations. So these are the 5 questions that I am going to start this video off by asking. Afterwards, I'm going to give the necessary answers. And of course, it applies anywhere in the world. Okay, so the first question is, if your financial institution should go bust, what happens to your money? Do you know? The second question, because I've written them down, so the second question is, you know what? With what is happening in the world, what do you think would happen to your money, or who is held accountable if, for example, an employee of that financial company that holds your money should, you know, rob up the money? Who should be held accountable? Should it be the employee? Should it be the financial institution? Number 3, what is the amount of cash transaction you are allowed to conduct in one go? Number 4, if your home is raided, what happens? You know, if it is raided and a certain amount of cash is found indoors, what happens to that money? And when I say raided, I'm talking about the authorities, you know, the police, etc. And the final question is, which is linked to question 4, is it illegal for you to keep large sums of money at home? And what I want to do is to answer the questions in the same order as well. So the first question was, what happens to your money if your financial institution should go bust? Now, if your financial institution should go bust, there is a certain limit to which your money is protected. Financial institutions are obliged, not obliged, it is mandatory that they have a certain amount of insurance in place. And this insurance is set up by the government of each country. Now I've had a look, and there are quite a number of countries who actually have this protection in place. So first, what I'm going to do, I'm going to list the countries that have this kind of protection in place. Then I am going to say the amount of money that is protected and what you can do to protect yourself based on the law that is in place. So the countries that have this insurance in place with the government are USA, Canada, the UK, Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, Germany, Venezuela, and India. Is that saying that other countries do not have this insurance, you know, where your money is protected, your money in the financial institutions, you know, is protected should the institution go bust? No, I am not saying it. What this video, if your country was not called out, then you should start investigating to find out whether or not such insurance is in place. Okay, so like I have said, there is a certain limit to which your money is protected. Now, these are the limits to which, you know, if something should happen, you are guaranteed to get back this amount of money. In the UK, you are protected to the first £85,000. So up to £85,000 in any financial institution is protected. However, it is important to know that this £85,000 is not a general thing. Every individual institution, financial institution that you have money in, you can claim back up to £85,000. Bear that in mind. However, if it is a joint account, then the first £170,000 is protected in the UK. In Jamaica, the first $1.2 million is protected. So if the financial institution should go bust, you are guaranteed to get back 1.2 Jamaican dollars. In the US of A, the first 200 up to $250,000 is protected. 250,000 US dollars is protected. In Canada, the first $100,000 is protected. Now, what happens if you have a foreign exchange account? Does that say that you will not get back your money in the different countries? Yes, you will get back your foreign exchange money. However, it is important to know that you will get back the foreign exchange money up to the limit that is protected in that country. So the equivalent of the amount that is protected in that country, that is what you will get back. Now, how can you protect yourself? What does this knowledge, how can you use this knowledge? If you know that the first whatever amount of money that they have given you, up to that amount is protected, then what you can do is to spread out your money. So what I would do, if I was a rich person, what I would do is that in the UK, I would not hold more than £85,000 in any one institution, because it means that anything above the £85,000, if that institution should go bust, there is no guarantee that you are going to get back that money. So it would be wise to spread out the money, 85,000 in one account, another 85,000 not in one account, in one institution, and then you put another 85,000 in another institution, because that 85,000 pounds is per institution. And it is the same for any of the other countries that I have called out. And the same thing applies. If you are not sure about your country and the laws, the protection, then this video is meant to start a conversation for you to go back now and start asking questions. Okay, so the next question is, what happens if your institution, if it's not, if you lose your money and it's not that the institution has gone bust, but instead, you have an employee who's dishonest, and because of the nature of the job of that employee, they have access, certain access to going into customers' account. Because of financial crime, sometimes it is internal, and sometimes the employees are caught, when this happens. Now, you go to the bank, for example, and you notice that money is missing. Now the bank has done its investigation, or, the authorities were called in, and as a result, they have pinpointed which employee is responsible. Now the big question is, who should be held accountable? Do you think that it would be the financial institution held accountable, or the individual employee? What do you think? Now, if you had guessed that the individual employee would be held accountable, you would be correct. Yes. Remember, it's not that the institution have gone bust in this case. It is that there was some dishonest employee. So what would happen is that that employee would be held accountable, where they go through the legal system. If they need to go to put away in jail, they're put away in jail, etc. The employee will stand the penalty independent of the financial institution. Now, in such a case, the person who would have to give you back that money is the employee. But it is important to know that if they go to prison, then they do not have to repay that amount. So you could lose your money if it is the fault of an employee and not because the institution has gone bust. So bear that in mind. Do remember that with anything that you do in life, there is certain amount of risk. And yes, of course, the financial institutions should ensure that they do the necessary checks to ensure that they employ people who are in good standing. But you would agree that sometimes these things happen. You cannot know everything about people. Okay, so number 3, the maximum amount of cash transactions that you're allowed to make in one go. Now this varies from country to country because every country have their own laws when it comes on to the cash transaction. So this is what the limit is. In Europe, there is no legal limit in terms of the cash payments that you are allowed to make. However, the vendor, the trader, has the right to refuse the cash payment. The vendor, the trader, has the right to accept to ask for a different measure of payment. So just know, in Europe, legally there is no limit. In the USA, Inland Revenue requires that business report any single cash transaction in excess of $10,000 US. So the IRS requires that if there is a cash transaction that is above $10,000, then the trader can report that, just to notify them. It's not necessarily that they're going to take any action, but just to say, this has happened. Now, when it comes on to, let me see, in Jamaica, the maximum amount of cash transaction, one transaction that you're allowed to do in cash, is 1 million Jamaican dollars. So you can see that, every country will have their own. When it comes on to Canada, the limit is 10,000 Canadian dollars cash transaction. Okay, so these are some of the things that you must be mindful of. Now the 4th question, down to number 4, what happens if your home is raided and a large amount of cash is found at your in your possession? Now if it is raided by the authorities and huge amounts of cash is found, they can confiscate it and you will get it back if you are able to provide evidence as to how you come by that amount of cash in your home. Now, the thing about it though is that if you are not able to provide evidence as to how you come by the cash in the first place, then of course you will not be entitled to get back that cash. And that takes me to number 5. Is it illegal for you to hold large sums of cash, amounts of cash at your home? The simple answer is no. It is legal for you to, choose to keep your cash at home. However, remember that with everything, the risk is there. So it is like a personal decision, but just know that if it's raided, it can be confiscated until you are able to provide the evidence required as to, to explain how you come by that cash. So, with all the what is happening in the world with the crime rate in terms of to do with financial institutions. I hope that this information will prove useful to you. Until I upload another video, I should say thank you, and again I'm saying welcome to this channel. Until I upload another video, bye.